and things you don't really need to know, but probably should. I'm Ciara Revin, and this is the Sunday 7.
On today's episode of the award-winning Sunday 7, we look at the billionaire-backed Stargate project launched by the US's newly inaugurated President Trump, ADHD's impact on life expectancies, and how the bacteria from an unusual source is helping with cancer treatment. Plus, Will Guyatt, the Smart 7's resident tech guru, is here to talk Samsung, TikTok, and the mystery of forced social media follows. If you're enjoying our episodes, please do like and follow us wherever you get your podcast. We're here 7 days a week at 7 a.m. with the 7 biggest stories on the Smart 7. Before we get started though, it was on this day in 1926 that the engineer and inventor John Loughborough demonstrated the world's first ever working television. In front of an audience of scientists in London, Bard transmitted moving silhouette images. It was a pivotal moment in tech and home entertainment history. Almost straight after his inauguration, President Trump announced the Stargate project, an ambitious AI venture between the companies OpenAI, SoftBank and Oracle. They're planning to invest at least $500 billion into expanding and building more US data centres to support AI development. Trump introduced the trio at a White House briefing on Tuesday.
Together, these world-leading technology giants are announcing the formation of Stargate. So put that name down in your books, because I think you're going to hear a lot about it in the future. A new American company that will invest $500 billion at least in AI infrastructure in the United States and very, very quickly, moving very rapidly, creating over 100,000 American jobs almost immediately. This monumental undertaking is a resounding declaration of confidence in America's potential under a new president. Let me be a new president. I didn't say it, they did. So I appreciate that, fellas. But it'll ensure the future of technology. What we want to do is we want to keep it in this country. China is a competitor and others are competitors. We want it to be in this country.
The CEO of OpenAI, Sam Altman, joined him to talk about how AI investments could look in the real world.
I believe that as this technology progresses, we will see diseases get cured at an unprecedented rate. We will be amazed at how quickly we're curing this cancer and that one and heart disease, and what this will do for the ability to deliver very high quality healthcare, the costs, but really to cure the diseases at a rapid rate, I think will be among the most important things this technology does.
So what could the Stargate project be used for? Larry Ellison is Oracle's Chief Technology Officer and spoke more about AI and its possibilities within vaccines healthcare.
Once we gene sequence that cancer tumor, you can then vaccinate the person, design a vaccine for every individual person to vaccinate them against that cancer. And you can make that vaccine, that mRNA vaccine, you can make that robotically, again using AI, in about 48 hours. So imagine early cancer detection, the development of a cancer vaccine for your particular cancer aimed at you, and have that vaccine available in 48 hours.
It's certainly a shift in attitudes towards AI, but Elon Musk has criticised the new joint venture. He left OpenAI in 2018, claiming the firm had veered away from its founding agreement to use its technology to benefit the public.
I don't trust OpenAI. I started that company as a non-profit open source. The open in OpenAI, I named the company OpenAI as an open source. And it is now extremely closed source and maximizing profit. I don't understand how you actually go from being an open source nonprofit to a closed source for maximum profit.
He wrote on his social media platform X that he has it on good authority that they don't actually have the money for their Stargate plans, and that SoftBank has well under $10 billion secured. Microsoft, are a key partner in OpenAI, and CEO Satya Nadella was quick to brush off Musk's money concerns at Davos.
Look, all I know is I'm good for my $80 billion. I am going to spend $80 billion building out Azure. Customers can count on Microsoft, with OpenAI models being there everywhere in the world, serving OpenAI models and other models. That's, I think, what I know.
It's time to catch up on all the latest in the world of tech with the Smart 7's tech guru Will Guyatt. We're talking Trump's reverse TikTok ban, what came out of the Samsung Unpacked conference this week, and accusations of Meta forcing users to follow people. So, This week, Samsung's Galaxy Unpacked gave us a sneak peek at their latest tech lineup. What were the biggest announcements, Will?
The Galaxy range of Android phones is probably the world's biggest premium smartphone competitor to Apple's iPhone, so there's naturally some excitement to their launch event, which takes place around this kind of time every year. This time we got 3 different S25 models, which include the top-of-the-range Ultra model as usual, and they've also revealed a new slim phone, the S25 Edge. It certainly was thinner, but we don't yet know whether they've had to remove any of the features or make it less powerful. We're going to have more information about that device later this year, as it won't come out at the same time. Samsung was also showing off its AI features, and now you can press a button and ask it to do multiple things at once. So you can ask it to find a local restaurant, make a booking, and send the details to the people you're going with. God knows just how successfully that will work in reality. And wrapping up the event, we got a 30-second glimpse at the new Apple Vision rivaling Galaxy headset. It looks smaller and lighter than Apple's model, and Samsung confirmed they were the first company to work with Google on its new Android XR operating system. They said they'd reveal more information later this year, and if it's cheaper than Apple Vision's current £3,500 cost, they could actually be onto something.
Samsung also put a lot of focus on sustainability during the event. Does addressing environmental concerns feel like a genuine shift, or is it clever marketing?
Tech companies are certainly more focused on making their kit more planet-friendly than ever before, and Samsung have taken it to the next level by using recycled cobalt in their S25 lineup. That's a rare magnetic metal, and it's rarer than lithium and graphite. It's used to make batteries, and around 60% of it is currently mined in the Democratic Republic of Congo. And this fact is regularly used by climate change deniers as a meme on X to suggest that battery products aren't cleaner than their coal-fired Ford Escort car. This is a major new initiative and relies on Samsung recycling cobalt from reclaimed Galaxy devices, and promise that this will accelerate circularity of its devices, which is a term I've never previously heard, but I expect I'll be hearing an awful lot more of. And with President Trump promising to drill baby drill while rolling back on a ton of America's net zero policies, let's hope it doesn't stop all the progress tech companies like Samsung and others are making to ensure our devices have less of an impact on the planet.
Switching gears now, let's talk Trump reversing his own TikTok ban. What does it mean for the platform, and what's been stopping it appearing on app stores?
Last weekend was one of the most hectic of my career. It was on and off more than the latest reality TV relationship. Both sides of US Congress had previously agreed with a significant majority to ban TikTok if its Chinese owners refused to sell it to a US company. But when it came to it, both Joe Biden and Donald Trump refused to enact this ban. Instead, US Congress just told all the companies involved that they wouldn't levy the $1 billion a day fine against them if they were involved in keeping TikTok online. Now, naturally, Apple, Google, Amazon, and a tech company called Oracle all felt that they wanted a little bit more of a cast iron assurance they wouldn't get fined, and when Trump gave it, the service came back online. Now, Trump was so motivated to ensure young Americans could see his unmissable inauguration. You just can't see the air quotes I've just done around unmissable, but trust me, they were there.
Does it look like it'll be an easy journey ahead for TikTok in the US?
Despite the boss of TikTok getting a late invite to Trump's inauguration, things could still be bumpy. The ban has essentially been kicked 75 days down the road, and in the president's loose rambling media interviews, he suggested out of nowhere that TikTok would be worth $1 trillion if ByteDance went into a 50-50 partnership with a trusted US business to keep its service operating. Now, that's significantly watered down from full US ownership, and God knows what will happen. But let's not forget, in 2020, Trump wanted to sell it to a coalition of US businesses, including the supermarket giant Walmart. That's a bit like selling Apple to Iceland, and I'm talking about the supermarket, not the country.
Now on to Meta and these force-following accusations. What's been going on, Will?
We've now all seen the new tech bro version of Mark Zuckerberg, who appears to have gone full MAGA over the last couple of weeks in his newfound support of Trump. But it's been an embarrassing couple of days for his company, as it had to confirm it wasn't forcing Facebook users to follow the accounts of prominent Republican politicians, including the new President Donald Trump and his VP JD Vance. It turns out this was a mistake, and Meta pointed out a number of US users who were also made to follow a handful of Democrat accounts too. Talk about bad timing.
And we've already talked about Trump's Stargate, but we always value your take. What do you make of it, Will?
I love the idea of any dedicated investment into tech-related stuff, especially $500 million into AI, and the idea is sound. You need to put significant infrastructure investment into making sure there's enough energy and available computing power for AI projects. But hilariously, Trump's own best bud, Elon Musk, appeared to instantly piss on this new announcement by saying they don't have the money to make this happen. Is there trouble in paradise already? Or maybe Elon's just a bit jealous he's not considered part of the top AI team.
Still to come on the Sunday 7, an alarming new study on ADHD and an unusual cancer treatment. A study by the British Journal of Psychiatry revealed people with ADHD are likely to have a lower life expectancy. They found that men with the condition lost an average of 6.78 years of life and women an average of 8.64 years compared to people who did not have the disorder. The report also said that ADHD affects nearly 3% of adults, although most are undiagnosed. It is the first study of its kind to look at life expectancy alongside ADHD within the UK population, and it's a sentiment being echoed in America too. Researchers believe the difference in life expectancy is because people with ADHD don't get enough treatment, both for the disorder itself and other health issues. Dr. Mallika Marshall is a Harvard-trained physician and journalist. She spoke about the UK-based study.
They say people with ADHD, on average, tend to be poorer, have lower achievement in school and work, worse physical and mental health, and a higher risk of substance use, risky behaviors, and suicidality, all of which can contribute to premature death, but could be addressed with proper care and attention. Now, they say the study only included adults actually diagnosed with ADHD and may not apply to the entire population of adults with ADHD because many of those have not even been diagnosed.
A treatment derived from fecal matter has been shown to help cancer patients who've had bone marrow transplants. Fecal microbiota transplants, or FMTs for short, involve transferring a sample of processed stool from a healthy donor into a patient's gut to restore balance. Graft versus host disease is a dangerous side effect of bone marrow transplants, often used to treat leukemia and other blood cancers. It happens when donor cells attack the patient's body and can affect multiple organs, including the gut. One patient in France received an FMT after their donor cells attacked their organs, and permission was granted for a trial on compassionate grounds. Dr. Loschi from Nice University Hospital explains what happened after the patient's transplants.
She was able to be discharged a couple of weeks after that. Now we are 3 years after the transplantation. There is no sign of myelofibrosis. She doesn't have any GVHD. She doesn't have any complications of her transplantations.
MaaT Pharma is the company behind the transplant. Their CEO and founder, Hervé, Affagard, explained what they've seen in trials.
We have data showing that for all patients that have received MaaT13, at 1 year, they have a survival of 49% as compared to historical data, which are showing 15%.
Carole Schwintner is MaaT Pharma's Chief Technology Officer and explained essentially how they make medicine out of poo.
We start with fecal matter from healthy donors. It means having no presence of more than 50 different pathogens, but also we monitor their health with a physician consults from time to time, just to be sure there is nothing that would affect the quality of the microbial community.
Still to come on the Sunday 7, why you should keep your eyes on the skies and what carnivorous plants have been up to.
Right after this. Welcome back.
Scientists have uncovered new insights into carnivorous plants known as sundews. The plants have a unique survival strategy which sees them adapting their appetite to match resources available to their surroundings. A study led by Loughborough and Gloucestershire University showed that the plants adjust their carnivorous traits depending on their habitats, helping them thrive when conditions are tough. Jonathan Millett is a senior lecturer in physical geography at Loughborough University and is one of the scientists behind the research. I chatted to him about the findings. So Jonathan, tell us about sundews. What makes them such remarkable plants?
So sundews are a group of carnivorous plants, and this means that they eat animals, which I think is truly remarkable. There's around 200 different species of sundew, and they're all similar in the way they catch their prey. So they have tentacles on their leaves, and at the tip of each tentacle, the plants secrete a sticky glue. And then insects come along and they land on the leaf, and they're trapped in the glue, and killed. They get smothered by the glue and they suffocate. And then the sundew slowly curls its leaf around the insect. It produces digestive enzymes and the prey is broken down. The sundews then use the nutrients from the digested prey for their growth. And they were one of Charles Darwin's favourite plants. He spent years experimenting on them to understand carnivore plants.
What did your research uncover about how they adapt?
We studied one species of sundew called the roundleaf sundew. Its scientific name is Drosera rotundifolia. This species grows on peat bogs around the world in the northern hemisphere. And we wanted to find out is whether they become more carnivorous in particular microhabitats. So we measured the number of tentacles on their leaves, which is a measure of how carnivorous they are. And we used an analysis called stable isotope analysis to track where the plants get their nutrients from, specifically nitrogen. We compared plants growing quite close to each other, within a few meters, but in different microhabitats, ones with more shade and ones with more nutrients in the water. And we found that patterns were as we expected. The sundews changed how many tentacles they produced in response to the different conditions. They produced more tentacles and got more nutrients from their prey in habitats that were more open and had less nutrients in the water.
Why are these findings important for understanding ecosystems and the climate?
The environment is changing because of things like burning fossil fuels, which is changing the climate and also increases the amount of nitrogen pollution that's deposited on ecosystems. This is a threat to plants which rely on low nutrient environments, like carnivorous plants, because their adaptations become a hindrance rather than a benefit. And what we showed was that very small scale patterns in carnivory varied between different peat bogs because the patterns of microhabitats also varied in different peat bogs. And this means that the impact of a changing environment might affect habitats in different locations differently, or it might even affect plants in a particular peat bog in different ways depending upon where they're growing. So understanding these fine scale patterns is really important for then scaling up to understand global changes in plant communities.
The night sky is set to dazzle us over the next few weeks with a series of extraordinary planetary alignments and celestial events in store. From close conjunctions to a stunning planetary parade, there's something for seasoned stargazers, photographers, and those that are just a bit curious about space. American astronomer Jean Regas spoke about the planet parade we'll see above us.
We're going to have lots of planets up in the sky. We've got Venus, we got Saturn, we got Neptune, Uranus, Jupiter, and Mars all visible. Sounds wonderful, doesn't it? But a little bit bringing people down to Earth. 6 planets sounds good, but 4 are the ones you can see with the naked eye. But Venus and Saturn are going to be right next to each other in the evening sky right after dark. So Venus incredibly bright, looks suspiciously bright like a plane or UFO, and Saturn will be faint but next to it. And then on the other side of the sky, kind of bordered by the southeast, is going to be Jupiter and Mars kind of spread out a little bit. Uranus and Neptune, you need a telescope to see. You're going to see it on social media with all 6 of them and the charts and everything.
The best way to catch a glimpse is to prepare by checking timings and, if possible, avoid local light pollution. University College London lecturer Dr. Francesco Diego says it's well worth keeping an eye on the skies.
It will be almost everywhere in the world, and you see them with the naked eye. I mean, you just have a look up there, and the first thing you see up there, you're looking to the west. These pictures were taken facing south. You're looking on the right, you will have Venus, the brightest thing in the sky. Then you have Jupiter. Even if it's partially cloudy, you will see Jupiter. It's extremely bright, as we saw in this year's simulations. And on the left of Jupiter, you see Mars. It's important to notice the difference in color. Venus is very white, Jupiter is a little bit yellowish, but Mars is definitely red-orange.
This week has seen Storm Éowyn batter Northern Ireland and Scotland, and in the US, wildfires have continued to impact communities across Los Angeles County. But when a natural disaster strikes, it doesn't just take a toll on people, it can also uproot their pets and local animals too. Chris Valls is from the LA County Animal Care, where shelters are taking in animals displaced by the fires. He spoke about what animal owners can do to prepare for their furry friends in the event of a natural disaster.
Always be prepared to have an emergency pet kit, and what that kit should include is animal information, any type of microchip information, leashes, blankets, food, any medication, water. If you get that evacuation order, you're able to grab your kit and leave immediately.
This has been the Sunday 7. Wherever you're listening, do us a favour and hit the follow button. We'll be back tomorrow at 7 a.m. with the regular Smart 7. Have a great rest of your weekend. Written, produced and published by Daft Doris.